Everyone keeps asking us, buy now or wait.
Let's break down the real numbers so you can make the right choice.
If you're thinking about making a move in Las Vegas, then this question probably is keeping you up at night.
So in this video, we're gonna get to the bottom of if it's a good time for you to buy or not right now. Stay tuned.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Kyle.
And we've helped hundreds of people buy, sell, and invest here in Las Vegas.
And we make videos about what it's really like to live here in Las Vegas.
Let's get into it. Stick around to the end of this video and we're gonna discuss what we think is a great tip as a buyer in today's market to save you the most amount of money.
Now we're gonna talk about interest rates, the big elephant in the room.
That's right. And today our interest rates are currently at a 6.7% interest rate, and that is for a 30-year fixed conventional. Now, interest rates are constantly changing, so when you are ready to buy, definitely reach out to us. We can connect you with our lender and we can let you know exactly what that number is for that day. Now, with that said, with a 6.7% interest rate, what that currently looks like is, let's say you purchased a home for $500,000. If you were putting 5% down, your
$5,000.
right, your mortgage payment would look like $3,650. Now, if you purchase at a time where interest rates decreases by 1%, that changes the game for you. So your mortgage payment would now look like $3,350, or you can increase your purchasing power. So rather than purchasing a home for $500,000, you can now increase that to $5,500 or $550,000. And you would still have that mortgage payment of $3,650 if you were putting 5% down.
That's right. So if you kept your payment the same, but wanted to increase your purchase price, you'd be buying a $50,000 more home, which is actually going to get you quite a lot more home here. It's not like you get the same home, but slightly better kitchen. That could mean the difference between getting a swimming pool or not, or it could be the difference between getting an extra bedroom or an office or a third car garage or something like that. And that's why that purchase power is so important. The National Home Builders Association put out a statement just a couple months ago stating that if interest rates were to drop 1 point, that would bring a potential 4 million or more new buyers into the marketplace for that annual year. And so what that means here in Las Vegas is you're talking about potentially 600 plus more buyers coming into the market averaged across each month, which means that's a 20% increase in buyers hitting the marketplace. And so what that means is if you were to wait for interest rates to drop 1 more point instead of buying right now and waited for that rate to come down, the other side of that, the double edge to that sword, is that you're now going to be competing with 20% more buyers. So if this represented all the buyers, you'd be having one finger more worth of buyers. So if it were here, you've now got 20% more people coming into the market to compete with, meaning that you're going to lose 1/5 of the homes that you were probably going to bid against them for in a competitive offer situation. So since rates have been up, and everyone knows rates went up in May of 2022 from a beautiful 3.5% up to a 4.5%, 5.5%, and all the way up to the 7%, which is where we were not too long ago, or in the beginning of this year, which was kind of hard for people to stomach. That's double the interest rate at 3.5 to 7. So they're like, whoa, this has caused a lot of hesitancy in our marketplace and, of course, all the marketplaces across America. But it's important to know the interest rates are backed by the bond market, which are closely tied to the Fed interest rate. And we've gone since May of 2022, there have been 22 Federal Reserve meetings, and not one of them has cut rates since then. So there's no guarantees that rates will be cut anytime soon, but we remain hopeful because you're either going to be able to buy more home, or you're going to be able to buy more home, but you're going to deal with more buyers to actually get that home.
Now, just a side note, if you are thinking, well, I don't really want to be stuck in a payment that's much higher if I could just wait and find a home at a lower interest rate, just keep in mind there are a lot of lenders out there who offer programs where if you use their service, they will do a one-time interest rate buy down or a
one-time refi, yeah.
refi.
A free refi.
Which means, they can refinance you into that lower interest rate. So just something to think about if you're considering purchasing now, but you don't really want that high interest payment and you're comfortable with that interest payment. Now, I do want to say a few years back, a lot of realtors were saying,
buy the house and date the rate, meaning you could get a new rate later. But how's that worked out? Hasn't really worked out for over 3 years now, meaning people were locked into a payment for the last 3 years at a much higher interest rate than they probably wanted it to be.
Right, and we definitely didn't suggest that to our clients. We just felt it was really important that if you feel comfortable with the payment that's offered today, then that's great. Now, if interest rates do come down and you're able to refinance, that's even better. Then you will have a better mortgage payment, which is going to be more affordable. However, if you're not comfortable with that monthly payment now with the interest rate, definitely don't put yourself in that position because no one has a crystal ball. Of course, there are amazing economists who can, suggest what may happen. But at the end of the day, there have been so many people saying interest rates would come down within 3, 6 months, and it's been years. So definitely don't put yourself in that situation unless you feel comfortable with the current interest rate now. Now, if any of this information sounds good to you guys and you are looking to purchase a home here in Las Vegas, definitely reach out to us. We would love to help you.
And also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We make new videos every single week so you could stay up to date on everything Las Vegas.
Next on our list is inventory.
Definitely. Today, we are seeing massive increases in inventory. In fact, they just published that we are 77% more inventory year over year. That means there's 77% more listings that are sitting active waiting for a buyer than there were at this same exact time just last year. And of course, we all know the basics of supply and demand. The more supply there is, then obviously, or less demand, in fact, either more supply or less demand, then typically house prices fall. Now, we've been seeing lots of price reductions. In fact, for the last 4 months, we've been seeing price reductions to the tune of about 1,000 per week. I even saw 1,400 in a 7-day period. So that's a lot of listings reducing their price. In fact, it's about 20% of listings reducing their prices every single week. Now, you might think, wow, that must have a dramatic play on what's happening with the pricing. But what's really fascinating about that is that we actually have not really seen prices fall that much yet, which is really wild because we actually have slightly cheaper interest rates than we did this same time last year. So buyer fatigue really kicked in, and there's a lot of people that just aren't making their purchases like they were in the previous years, even with the higher interest rates starting in 2022. And so the next section we'll cover is prices, and we'll get into that on how they really have been affected.
So we started off with the median sales price of $529, and that was back in January. And while it went up to the 540s in May, it's now sitting back at the 525 median mark. So for a single family detached home in the valley, that's where you're looking at today.
Definitely. And when we average the year comparative to last year, they're probably going to be pretty similar. Meaning, had you bought a home last year versus bought a home this year, didn't really make that much of a difference, except for the fact that we now have more inventory. So if you did buy this year, you had more options to look at and more homes sitting on the market for a little bit longer, giving you more time to make your offer and get in and see something before another buyer takes it away. So does it really mean that you're going to get a better deal soon if prices are starting to come down? Well, we're not 100% certain, but what we do believe and what we are seeing is that potentially as we go into the winter months, which is our normal seasonality, and I've probably said this in a few videos before, we typically sell more homes in the 5 months of May, June, July, August, and September than we do the other 7 months of the year. That's our summer selling season. However, we're now currently in August, so moving forward, we're going to be going into the slower months. And since inventory is increasing every single month for the last 5 months, we're probably going to see even more inventory hit the market come January and February. And a fun fact for you, if you didn't know, the slowest months are the months with the least amount of closings that we have here in Las Vegas, almost always January and then February. So it is possible that you could get a better deal and have more options available as we move forward into the winter time of this upcoming year. But one thing that could change that is interest rates. So if interest rates hit you with that 1 point drop, we saw last year in September, a small half-point drop that ended up bringing hundreds of thousands of new buyers into the market in America. So it could happen all over again when people catch wind that they might be able to afford a little bit more home or reduce that payment amount. So we really don't have a good crystal ball to tell us whether or not January will be better for you to buy or next year will be better, because we don't know if interest rates will go down. So take that with a grain of salt and process it the way that you want. You might get a better deal then, or you might not. But realistically, it'll be up for you to choose after you finish hearing the rest of the information in the video. Now, before determining whether it's the right time for you to buy now or not, we're going to go over some of the reasons why buying now could work in your favor.
One thing that could absolutely work in your favor is that currently in today's market, homes are sitting longer than they were previously. Now, before we were seeing homes sell 0 days on market, 1 day on market, and you didn't even have the opportunity to go view that home without it being in escrow. Now, because homes are sitting longer on the market, you have the opportunity to view multiple homes and make that right decision for you.
Yeah, you really get ample time to drill down on if you found the right one. You're not like rushed and scared of, oh, I missed out on an opportunity because someone else took it away from you.
Or trying to schedule when there's, 20 other people trying to view that same home in that same day.
Days on market is going to help you now. The next thing that might be in your favor when purchasing a home right now is there's less competition. Right now, there's significantly less buyers in their marketplace compared to any of the years prior to this, other than the Great Recession. So I guess we'll call it post-recession era. And so with fewer buyers means that there's no more dealing with multiple offers. There's no more dealing with couldn't go see the house, like Vicky said, because someone else bought it too fast. And there's no more paying an arm and a leg over asking price. In fact, most buyers are getting concessions.
That actually brings us to our next point, and that is negotiating better terms. And what that looks like for you could possibly mean negotiating a better price point for the home. It could mean getting a rate buy down from the sellers. It could also mean help with closing costs or even negotiations when it comes to repairs. So you may be able to get these better concessions now that we're in this type of market where sellers are more willing to offer these to buyers. Whereas before, previously, these buyers were, competing against other buyers, and you would find yourself in a multiple bid situation, and it was just a lot more competitive. Now, because there are less buyers in the market, more inventory, higher interest rates, those make it a really great scenario for buyers, so that way they can negotiate more when it comes to concessions.
Definitely is pretty close to almost 40% of buyers are getting some kind of concession right now. So we're getting more concessions than they ever have before, which means it's just gonna be easier for you to buy a house.
Another thing that could be really beneficial in your favor is that if rates drop, you can always refinance later. So I know a lot of people may be nervous about these current interest rates, and while they are high, if you feel comfortable with these payments now, then when interest rates do drop and you have the capability of refinancing, then it will only make your mortgage payment better.
And the beauty of that is homes do end up going up in value over time. So in 10 years from now, that home's not going to be the same price that it is today, regardless if there's an up and down market. It's going to be up eventually. And if it is up eventually, that means you bought that home at a much cheaper price. So waiting is only going to cost you more money. And that's the beauty of being able to refinance is you could lock that price in today and then change the amount that you're paying monthly as that home becomes worth more and more money.
Now, an example of that is back in 2020, we did have quite a few clients who felt as soon as the interest rates did go up that they wanted to wait for interest rates to come back down. And while they were waiting, home prices just increased every single year. And now it's to the point where if they had purchased back in 2020, they definitely would have seen not only equity within their home, but if they purchase now, they're really hoping for that price that they really wanted back in 2020. So having waited that long kind of did them a disservice.
Definitely. And what I didn't mention in the pricing section is that just 5 years ago in 2020, the median sales price of a single family detached home in the valley was only like $325,000, $340,000. Fast forward 5 years later, now you're talking about $525,000. So had you just waited those few years, you would be spending significant $200,000 more dollars just to buy that same exact home. And so waiting could be costing you. The next thing that could work in your favor is if you are renting and you don't own a home currently, buying a home could build not just current wealth, but generational wealth for you if that's something that you're interested in. But of course, making payments to a rent doesn't go towards paying anything down and you don't own anything. Now, while it does have some advantages, like you don't have to fix your air conditioner when it's broke, it also has disadvantages to it as well. And like we explained earlier, anyone who bought a home just a few years ago in, say, 2020, reaped the rewards of having it appreciate over those last 5 years, and homes will always be up if you wait long enough. So becoming a homeowner can and usually is a beneficial thing to most people.
Another thing that could potentially be beneficial and in your favor is that if rates drop.
Well, if rates drop, obviously your home price will become more affordable for your monthly payment, or you'll be able to buy more house or finance more house. But the flip side of that is that you will be competing with more people. As we mentioned, if rates do go down by, say, a whole point, that's going to bring thousands of buyers back into the marketplace, meaning there will be multiple offer situations and there won't be as many homes for you to buy as there currently are now. So waiting could be good in terms of paying less money, but it also might be more difficult to buy a home then, and prices might go back up. If rates go down and more buyers come into the market, there's a potential for prices to actually increase, and that's what usually happens. So keep that in mind when thinking about, is it the right time for me to buy right now? So when is the right time for you to make your purchase?
The time is right when the timing is right for you.
That's right. So if you are able to afford the monthly payment comfortably and you have enough money for that down payment, or you want to talk to us about helping you maybe get some closing costs from the seller or the builder, and you feel like this might be what I want to do, then right now is definitely the right time for you. Always buy when you're most comfortable buying. And we never, ever try to endorse telling clients to overextend themselves or to be house poor. That's not something you're going to enjoy spending all your money on a mortgage. That's going to make you resentful about owning your home. And that's something we would never, a position we would never put you in. So, like Vic said, the time is right when you know the time is right for you. So, if you can afford those things, then jump in. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, and I just want to add on top of that, I had a client reach out to me and she just felt really pressured by her family and her coworkers to purchase a home. And we really discussed it. And, we realized together it just was not the right time for her. And, she felt really comfortable renting. And so I say that because purchasing a home isn't always for everyone. You really want to make sure that the time is right. And so whenever you feel comfortable going through this process, we would be happy to help guide you every step of the way, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. I know things can feel really scary sometimes. It's a lot of jargon, a lot of information coming at you all at once. And we're really thankful that we have a really incredible team that we work with to ensure that you guys just, like I said, feel really comfortable and confident every step of the way.
With your decision.
Now, one of our hot tips is being able to save you the most amount of money when it comes to negotiating. So, I would say if you are thinking of purchasing in today's market, there are two things that you will want to look for. Number one is looking for a new build because new builds offer incredible incentives. In fact, we just put into escrow for one of our clients a property that got appraised and it was appraised $30,000 above what she had offered. And so she's walking into her property with $30,000 of instant equity. So let's say she goes to sell her property today. Well, once she closes, so like in 15 days from now. When she closes, if she wants to go ahead and resell that property, she will have $30,000 of instant equity.
Definitely. And it's not just the instant equity for getting lucky on a great appraisal. They also offer rate buy downs, which means you don't have to be subjected to the day's rate at 6 3/4. You might be able to get a rate as low as 5.9 or 4.9 even, depending on what kind of loan you're getting. And that's going to change your monthly payment or boost your purchase price.
And also, those interest rates do change as well. So, if interest rates do in fact go down, then those rates will be even better when it comes to the builder because they are able to buy those interest rates at a large volume, which is able to increase your interest rate. Now, the second tip that I would say when purchasing is looking for that motivated seller. Now, if you find a property and that seller is completely motivated, they need to move across country or relocating for a job or just upsizing their property, Now, you will want to find those sellers, excuse me, because they are wanting to sell quickly. And in today's market, homes are sitting on the market much longer than normal. So being able to negotiate is going to be your upper hand.
Definitely. Well, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We make videos like this every single week so you can help better make best decisions on whether or not to buy here in Las Vegas and which neighborhoods are right for you. We also created a free relocation guide you could download in the description below that's going to help you figure out which parts of town are best for you if you are not familiar with town. And of course, like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on everything Las Vegas real estate and more.
And also, we absolutely love chatting with you guys. So if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave it in the comment section below. We love responding to everyone. And we're so excited to see you guys on our next video. Bye.
Bye.